My brothers and sisters, every one of us wants peace, blessings, and a life filled with Allah's mercy. But sometimes we unknowingly carry things that block those very blessings. These hidden habits, attitudes, and choices slowly weaken our hearts, distance us from guidance, and make life heavier than it needs to be. Today's reminder is not about fear, it's about awakening. It's about recognizing the small things that can cause big damage to our spiritual well-being. Allah warns us because He wants to protect us, elevate us, and guide us toward a life of clarity and success. In this video, we'll uncover 7 dangerous things that every believer must remove immediately. If you truly want your heart to feel lighter, your dua to feel stronger, and your journey to feel clearer, then listen closely. These reminders might be exactly what your soul has been waiting for. 1. Arrogance. Arrogance is one of the most dangerous spiritual diseases because it blinds a person from recognizing truth and accepting guidance. It creates a false sense of superiority that makes someone believe they are better than others due to their wealth, knowledge, status, beauty, or achievements. When arrogance enters the heart, humility leaves, and with that, the ability to acknowledge mistakes also disappears. A person begins to justify their wrongs, dismiss good advice, and look down on people whom Allah may actually regard as more righteous. This attitude can slowly harden the heart. Instead of turning to Allah in moments of weakness, an arrogant person relies solely on themselves, forgetting that every blessing they possess is a gift that can be taken away at any moment. Arrogance damages relationships too. It creates distance, prideful arguments, and an inability to apologize even when clearly wrong. It also prevents personal growth because learning requires humility. Spiritually, arrogance blocks a person from developing sincerity. Worship becomes about impressing others rather than pleasing Allah. The arrogant person becomes preoccupied with image, praise, and dominance. This inner corruption can spread quietly until it becomes a permanent trait. Removing arrogance requires constant self-reflection, gratitude, and awareness of one's dependence on Allah too. Envy and jealousy. Envy begins as a small discomfort in the heart, an uneasiness when someone else receives a blessing, achieves success, or is praised. If it is not controlled, that discomfort grows into resentment, where a person secretly wishes the blessing would be taken away from the other. This emotional state harms the one who envies far more than the one being envied. It creates constant comparison, insecurity, and dissatisfaction, making a person blind to their own gifts from Allah. Jealousy also disrupts inner peace. The heart becomes restless because it focuses on what others have rather than what Allah has already written for oneself. It can even push a person toward unhealthy behavior, unnecessary competition, bitterness, or passive-aggressive actions. Over time, envy can damage relationships, turning friends into rivals and creating silent hostility within families. Spiritually, jealousy weakens a believer's connection with Allah because it reflects dissatisfaction with His decisions. When someone envies, they forget that every blessing is distributed with divine wisdom. Instead of making dua for their own growth, they use their energy to resent another's progress. The cure for envy lies in actively celebrating others' blessings, making sincere dua for them, and nurturing gratitude for one's own journey. 3. Haram income. Haram income is more than just money earned through impermissible means. It reflects the overall purity of one's lifestyle. When wealth comes from dishonest, unethical, or forbidden sources, it affects every aspect of a person's life, including their character, their household, and even their mindset. Such income may appear to bring comfort on the surface, but underneath it carries spiritual heaviness. A person might experience unexplained anxiety, constant dissatisfaction, or recurring problems because the foundation of their livelihood lacks integrity. One of the hidden harms of haram income is how it subtly reshapes a person's values. Over time, they may become comfortable with bending rules, hiding the truth, or prioritizing profit over principles. This can lead to a gradual loss of empathy and fairness, creating a coldness within the heart. It also influences family dynamics. Children raised in an environment supported by compromised earnings may unknowingly absorb attitudes of dishonesty or greed. On a deeper level, haram wealth becomes a barrier between a person and spiritual growth. It clouds intentions and drains motivation for worship. Even when one attains material success, the soul remains restless because true tranquility cannot grow from impurity. The path to purification begins with seeking lawful means, trusting Allah's promise of replacing anything sacrificed for His sake. 4. Backbiting and slander. Backbiting is one of the easiest sins to fall into because it often happens in casual conversations, gatherings, or even online interactions. It involves speaking about someone in a way that they would dislike if they heard it, even if what is being said is true. This makes it especially dangerous. People justify it as just talking, unaware of how deeply it harms both the speaker and the one being spoken about. Backbiting plants negativity and suspicion within communities, breaking trust and creating hidden wounds that may never fully heal. Slander, on the other hand, is even more destructive. It involves spreading false information about someone, damaging their reputation, dignity, and social standing. A single irresponsible statement can ruin years of someone's hard work or relationships. The person spreading it might forget their words within minutes, but the victim may carry the consequences for a lifetime. Both backbiting and slander reflect a deeper problem within the heart, an urge to elevate oneself by lowering others. This habit normalizes judgment and strips away compassion. To avoid falling into it, one must practice self-control and mindful speech. Silence becomes an act of worship when it protects others' honor. Choosing kindness, even in private conversations, is a sign of true spiritual maturity. 5. Toxic friendships. Toxic friendships often enter a person's life quietly. They may begin as regular companionship, but over time, these relationships can drain emotional energy, weaken determination, and influence a person to adopt habits that are harmful. A toxic friend is someone who encourages irresponsibility, normalizes sinful behavior, or pushes you away from your values. They may belittle your goals, mock your attempts to improve, or make you feel guilty for choosing the right path. This type of influence slowly shapes your mindset without you realizing it. Such friendships create an environment where negativity becomes the norm. Constant complaints, gossip, and pressure to fit in can weaken your ability to make healthy choices. You may find yourself compromising your principles just to maintain the relationship over time. This can affect your confidence, emotional balance, and connection with Allah. Another danger of toxic friendships is their impact on your long-term direction in life. The people you surround yourself with play a significant role in your ambitions, discipline, and spiritual growth. When a companion consistently distracts you from personal development or mocks your efforts to become better, they create a barrier between you and your potential. Choosing supportive, sincere, and spiritually uplifting friends is essential for maintaining inner strength and long-lasting peace. 6. Neglecting Salah. Neglecting Salah gradually weakens a believer's inner stability, even if they don't immediately notice it. Prayer is designed to anchor the heart throughout the day, providing moments of reflection, grounding, and spiritual renewal. When someone delays or misses Salah, they lose those essential pauses that realign the soul. Over time, this creates a sense of detachment. Life becomes noisier, worries feel heavier, and the heart becomes more vulnerable to stress and temptation. Another harm of neglecting prayer is the loss of discipline. Salah teaches consistency and responsibility by structuring the day around worship. When this framework is removed, a person may find themselves becoming more careless with time, priorities, and commitments. It becomes easier to fall into bad habits, since the regular reminders that come with praying are absent. Spiritually, neglecting Salah creates distance between a person and their Creator. The more Salah is delayed, the more the heart becomes accustomed to forgetting Allah. This distance doesn't appear suddenly. It develops quietly, making the soul feel empty, even in moments of comfort. Rebuilding the habit of Salah requires sincerity and small, steady steps. When prayer becomes consistent again, clarity returns, decision-making improves, and inner peace begins to blossom naturally. 7. Constant complaining, lack of gratitude. Constant complaining slowly reshapes a person's outlook on life. When someone focuses only on what is missing or what went wrong, their heart becomes conditioned to seek negativity even in situations that hold goodness. This mindset magnifies small problems and blinds the person to the opportunities and ease that Allah has already placed around them. Over time, complaining becomes a habit, an automatic response that drains emotional strength and creates a cycle of dissatisfaction. This habit also affects relationships. People who constantly complain often push others away unintentionally because their presence feels heavy rather than uplifting. Instead of offering encouragement, they highlight flaws. Instead of appreciating efforts, they point out shortcomings. This creates a tense environment that limits healthy communication and weakens bonds. Spiritually, a lack of gratitude closes doors to blessings. When the heart refuses to acknowledge Allah's favors, it becomes harder to feel contentment or trust in His plan. Gratitude, on the other hand, shifts the focus toward what is working, what is beautiful, and what is already granted. It softens the heart, brings calmness, and invites more goodness into one's life. Cultivating gratitude requires intentional reflection and the willingness to see blessings, even in challenging circumstances. Alhamdulillah, my brothers and sisters, we've learned the 7 things that can harm our hearts and distance us from Allah's mercy. Removing them is not always easy, but with sincere effort, Allah will guide us, bless our deeds, and bring peace to our lives. May Allah help each one of us to purify our hearts, strengthen our faith, and follow the path of righteousness. If this reminder benefited you, please like, share, and subscribe to Internal Deen. For more guidance, comment below Ameen as a dua for yourself and for everyone watching, and let's make this intention together.